everybody, welcome back to the JG Show. I am here with Mr. Extreme. Mr. Extreme is going to be giving us part 2, Mr. Extreme, the fighter.
Thank you very much for having me here.
All right, so take it away. We got Mr. Extreme, the fighter, the engineer, then the watchmaker. So part 2 is the fighter. So your fighting history, your background as a fighter. We did some sparring the week ago, right? And you said you hadn't sparred in 10 years and you were making quick work of guys easily half your age, all preparing for the upcoming event in December. How did you get so good at fighting?
I was surprised too, to be honest. And seriously, I was not sparring fighting many years, maybe 12, 13 years at all. And I was even surprised. It was like yesterday. It was a feeling like yesterday. I didn't expect it.
Okay.
So it was the moving, the distance, the feeling of distance. I was thinking, maybe you lose a little bit the feeling, right? No, it was like yesterday. I was even surprised about myself.
So fast, body shot, jab to the head, then body shot as the counters and everything, right?
Yeah.
So where did it start? What age did you first put on gloves? Do you remember the very first time you put on gloves?
Yes, let's say I was fascinated by the Kung Fu and Bruce Lee stuff all my life. But really fighting, training for the kind of stuff like this, I was 13. I started with
13 years old.
Yeah, a little bit, training at home, push-ups and all of this. But and then I entered the boxing club with 16.
Okay.
Really seriously.
16 years old, you're in it. You got a club. You have a club here.
Yeah. And before I was studying out of the books from Bruce Lee. I bought all his books and I was checking the technique, how he's boxing, and it was pretty interesting. I came to the boxing club, the first training, and the coach came to me and asked me, "Where did you train before?" And I said, "Sorry, I didn't train before. Never." He said, "No, it's impossible. How it's possible? The technique is very good. So how is it possible?" And no, I did it out of books, and I did it very clear and very precise, and tried to learn the moves, and so it was seems.
So you learned what? You actually learned enough techniques just by reading Bruce Lee's books?
Yeah. I can recommend his books, the Jet Can Do techniques. The boxing techniques there is really good, very good explained. We have it in Germany, and I was really training out of these books for at least one and a half year. It was not perfect, but the way of moving was already there, and this is what the coach told me.
So you would read it and then just practice at home? You would just be sort of shadow boxing at home.
Kind of techniques, so how to move, and it's very good explained how you move the body and how the shoulder have to move, and also the blocks and all of this. But this later I didn't use anymore. But I started from the books. Really. Of course, it had to be corrected later according to the boxing technique, because it's of course a bit different.
And also according to like combat, right? Would you say that Bruce Lee in his books, did you understand like how to fight based on, just by reading, or is that something you again have to practice it, right?
You have to practice it. This is what I said. I came back after many years to the ring, and I need to understand how is my feeling still, and was happy it's still there. But the basic technique you can understand. You can understand that it's important to move the shoulder, that it's important how to move the body to get the power into it. It's very good explained, so you could make the first steps. But the feeling for the fight, it's practice. You have to practice. So my way was learning from the book, go to the boxing club, and then learning technique, simple techniques. So jab, till it's in the brain, till it's perfect in the brain, till you really move it without thinking, and then you go step by step, technique by technique. That's the way how I did it.
Okay, so you got a really good foundation of technique, right? And then going to you have it in your club. They're impressed by that. When did you take the first competition? That first
The 17. It was after 1 year training, and I lost.
Okay, all right.
And I lost bitterly, really, but it was good. So the first I lost, but it pushed me even more.
Okay.
And I said, it's very interesting. It's a little bit a character, I think. a pushback, or if I lose, or if I'm not the best, or if I'm not good enough for myself, it pushed me. So it's very, very, very easy. I came to the boxing club and I saw the good guys boxing. I said, I want to be the same level. Then I trained. Then I was the level. Then I saw the co-trainers and I said, I want to be a co-trainer too. I was training. Then later I was the co-trainer. I went to the competition. I saw the guys who were better. And I said, okay, I want to train. I pointed out one guy who was definitely better than me, and I pointed out, and during the training I had him in mind, and I said, I want to beat this asshole.
Okay.
That's the way I push myself. So a defeat, or if I lose, is not pushing me back, it's even pushing me forward, because I say, let's go, they will make it. Is
that something you were born with, or did you train that? Did you train like this way of motivating yourself to?
I think this is something you cannot control. This isn't something you don't learn. Everybody to handle defeats or wins or losing in a different way. And for me, it was always trying to be the best. Trying to be the best, not always possible, or at least as good as I can. This is something. And for example, the body feeling is very interesting. Everybody has a different body feeling. So for example, you can be a guy who take your body as a friend. I work with my body, I take care, I listen to my body, I feel my body. I work with if I'm tired, I train less. I was different. And this doesn't mean it's good. The body is my enemy. I always challenged my body so hard. I was boxing so intense that I saw the black bubbles in front of me, and I was thinking, this fucking asshole, I need to continue. Why I cannot make it? I wanted. Doesn't mean it's good. I don't say it's good or bad, but this is my character. So I always challenged myself till really the borders, and this, of course, in the middle and long term, push you massively forward. Other people may be more careful. Okay, the body is my friend. I need to listen to my body. I need to feel my body. If I'm weak, maybe it's another way of making big progress, because you use the resource maybe more careful. I don't give a quote on it. What is better? For me, the body is my enemy. It's still today. Like this.
So you still push yourself, mind over matter.
Yeah.
David Goggins, you enjoy, you feed off the pain.
Yeah.
Pain is your friend. This kind of thing, right?
It's not my friend, it's an asshole too, but it's like this, right?
Wow. So and fighting too, I mean, you took that one loss. That's just boxing. That's not kickboxing, right? That was just
kickboxing.
It was all kickboxing.
From the beginning, kickboxing.
Okay, and it's all protective gear? For your first fight, everything's protected,
right?
Safeties,
the gloves, feet safeties, the typical American kickboxing. Not like the MMA today, right, where they're really not protected. It was the classical American kickboxing. Our time, there was no MMA.
So when did you start winning, or was that just that first fight, the first one you did, that one was the loss in your first competition, and then your next one, and then the next one? You obviously started winning because you have all these world titles. So how did you go from losing your first competition to getting your big significant win, like the biggest win that you started with on your fight career?
I always set up my goals high but reachable. Right? This was the very important. I said it already. I came to the club. I wanted to be good as the guys who are the best. Then I wanted to be the coach. Then I wanted to win the locals. Then I wanted to win the regionals. Then I wanted to win the German championship. And I set my goals according which it couldn't touch, but it was reachable if I work hard. And I always had this goal in mind. And I was not focused on the things which are too far away. Like if you start kickboxing and you want to be a German champion, come on. It's so far away. It's so many things which need to fit. So I pointed out the goals which are, let's say, touchable. And I increased the level of what I want to achieve according my status or my level where I am. That's the way. And it was really like, first it was really amateur beginner fighting. I lost, then I won, and I wanted to win them. And with winning them, I could go to the locals, then I could go to the regionals. And I set up the goals like this, and I made it step by step through it by winning more and more and more.
The benefit to that is you can just focus on the next challenge at hand. You don't look too far ahead. You just focus on the next one. You prep for that one. Once you get through that, then
Yeah.
then you focus on the next one.
I still do this on a very simple base. If we have the Nanshan mountain here, right? The Nanshan hill, I do it very regularly for myself. And
big famous hill here in Shirko, everyone likes to run. Yeah,
it's a hill, right? Everybody say mountain, but it's a hill.
Yeah.
But it's stairs. And this is a very good example for me. I don't look at all the stairs and I want to reach the top. Of course I want to reach the top, but I see one step each other and I see the next level. And I think for me it worked out pretty good. So not to be focused on too far is too painful. Oh shit, so far away, too painful. No, I always focused on the middle. And then after reaching it, this is also special. I'm not relaxing on the success. I was not relaxing on the regional championship. I just, did it, good, it's done, cool. And now what's the next? In the car back from the competition, I already was focused on the next level. Okay, cool, it's cool, but what is the next?
What's the next one?
Yeah.
What's the next? So how does it work? What's the system? You got your club, you're fighting against another club, then you go for like the area, the area of Germany you're in, the local tournament, right?
Yes.
So you become there's obviously weight divisions. You sort of get the title for that weight division of that local community.
Yeah.
Then you go to like the city, the larger city, and then you do a region and things like that.
Yeah.
And then you leave the country and you're going to European, right?
Then the nationals.
And then the national. Oh yeah, nationals would be the country. Then you'd go into the European, right?
The regionals open. Everybody can go there theoretically if you're appointed by your club.
Okay.
But for the nationals, you need to be qualified already. So you need to win enough fights, and you need to really be qualified for that, and for the World Championship and European Championship anyway, right? So it is really fighting step by step. You go this ladder. And you come to a certain level, and for me the most hard it was fun to get better and better. It was fun. You were the kind of hunter. You were hunting these assholes there. I will get you. But if you are on the top of what you can achieve, right? Then the others hunt you, and then you get another kind of pressure. This is what I experienced. So you come to the competition, and the people already look at you, and they have expectations. If you are hunting, nobody has expectations.
That's
you can
right.
only win.
Yeah, that's right. You got nothing to lose, right?
Yeah.
So you just throw everything out there, right? Yeah. The hunters become the hunted, right? It's the circle.
Yeah. That's fact, and it's another kind of pressure which you need to achieve, to keep, which you need to handle. I had a very close friend, my best friend at this time. He couldn't. He fell into drugs, and then he suicided. He was completely later out of.
You just couldn't do it. He couldn't handle the pressure.
No.
Couldn't handle it.
He had this. He built up a kind of story around him, and what, at the end of the day, he sat on the motorbike, gave the helmet to his girlfriend, sat on the motorbike, and she hit down, crash,
and he crashed
straight against the wall.
He just
that was the end, and he was great fighter. Great guy. He was really good.
But what would you say was his problem there? What was it? Like mentally, he just couldn't. He just didn't have any structure in how he was planning his fight career, or was he?
I think if you go into any competition, you need to be ready to lose, and you need also be able to handle it.
Handle the loss, yeah.
To face the friends later, to talk to them, and everybody has expectation, and you are so great fighter, and then you lose. And he was on this point. I think he couldn't handle that.
Couldn't handle the loss.
I think this was a problem. So it is a part of every fighting career. You need to be able to also to handle the
losses
and the losses. Yeah.
Can you tell us about a time when you lost, like a significant loss that you took, other than the very first one, the first competition? Do you remember a time when you really? Let's say I don't have really an event where I say this was my biggest loss, but I can tell you how I handle it. Okay.
I handle it very relaxed. If somebody is better, I go there as a great guy. Next time I beat your ass. Really, that's the way. If I really find somebody who's good, better, and he really win this, I say cool.
Good job.
I don't have a problem with that. And then I focus back on him.
Okay.
I focus back, I say, okay, study, check, let's see how we can kick his ass next time.
Yeah.
That was the way I handle it.
Was there ever a time where you lost and you really felt like that was not a good decision? Like you clearly won, but there was politics of the fight game.
not really. I cannot say this. I never. But this is also, I think, a point of character. I never look if something go wrong in my life, in my fighting, in my training. If anything go wrong, I never point out to others. I never say, "Hey, asshole, you pointed me wrong. I could be better. I could be more clear, right? If they are able to cheat me, I can be more clear." So I always was checking what was wrong, why I couldn't make it so clear, right? So I never was busy with, "Hey, they cheated me" or something. No, never. Always, what can I change to make it next time more clear or better, or can I win him? Is he maybe really better?
Is he really better, or could I beat him next time, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Wow. So what about a win? Is there a significant win that you remember? There was one particular guy that you were chasing, and then you're like, okay, we finally meet, and this is it. This will be the biggest win.
Yeah. One of the most interesting wins I had was the World Championship. We were with a team there. We were at the team fights in kickboxing. And I was winning at the European champion from England. He was from England. It was a very tough fight. Everybody was around and shouting, and I won. But unfortunately, in the team, we lost it. Because the others lost the fight.
Because it's like, if you have 5 in a team, it's you got to be the best of 5, right?
It was the 5 and the points. It was a kind of team fight, and this was maybe, you ask me what was a loss which you feel unfair. I felt this unfair because I made a great fight. I won this. It's what maybe the hardest fighter in this group. I won him, and finally we lost. So that's.
So even though you won as the team, there wasn't enough points to take you to the win.
To the final, right?
Okay. So do you remember specifically something about that guy and how you fought him and what his strengths were and how you were able to beat him?
Yeah. He was very aggressive, and I'm a counter fighter. So I'm always try to understand. Maybe you saw it last sparring, and I'm not going so aggressive. I'm going always I'm a defense fighter, and I got him exactly with that. He came aggressive, and I pointed him out and really stepped back and pointed him out because I studied before. I saw how he fight, and I think I found my way to point him out.
Nice, that's good.
And this is also very interesting for people who think boxing is stupid or it's very simple and very. No, it's not. It's not. If you fight on a high level or on a good level, you really have to think. Emotions will kill the fight. Will kill you the way you're fighting. You need to be clear-minded, and as higher you fight, as more important is that you are calm, that you're not excited, that you try to understand what is the opposite doing. If in the beginning I was fighting like I will kill him, and I'm just forward my strategy. But as more experienced you get, as more you are able to adjust yourself into the fight to the opponent, right? At the moment emotions go into, then you lose this ability at some point.
I see.
It's my point, and I always, if I was training the people a long time, and always told them, guys, no emotion, stay calm, understand and listen what I say from outside, and try to understand what the others do, and try to find the weak points.
Okay.
So that's, I think, and it's not stupid. It's really clear, and it's also not so aggressive like it appears to a lot of people outside. Like, hey, I want to hurt this person. Me personally, I never went into the ring or the fight to hurt anybody. I want to be better. I want to win this. I want to win this even hard. I want to challenge this guy. But it was never my intention really to hurt anybody, to kill anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe fighters different, right? But this was my way, and this was the way I teach the people. Also to get out the emotion out of the game, to be more focused.
How would you do that? How would you train someone to eliminate emotion from a fight? Because I remember when I boxed in Shanghai, there was one fight I was extremely emotional and it killed me. Yeah. How do you let that emotion go out?
Well, if somebody is in rage, you cannot control him anymore. But you just can talk to him, take a deep breath, come down, think, focus, look what is he doing wrong. But it doesn't mean it never happened to me, right? But it's a way to be more clear, to understand the weakness of the opponent. It's the more smart way, and normally the very experienced fighters fight this way.
Oh,
Or even
okay.
if emotion inside,
Yes.
still
the emotion's there, but they control it.
Yeah.
They channel it.
Yeah.
They channel it very well.
I remember my first fight, why I lost. I was trained pretty well. I trained hard. I was good physique, but I came to the fighting place and I was pressing like I was running a marathon. I was running any hill because I was not under control. I was so excited that I was in the first round already completely out of
your
of
anxiety
energy.
just
Completely-
saps you.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a very good example. This is the extreme example, and I realized that. I said to my trainer, "Hey, there's a second, third round. I couldn't move anymore because I was completely sour. I could not
Yes.
fight anymore." And this is the very extreme example for what I'm talking about.
But how many fights did it take for you to let that out? To where when you did show up to an event to fight, you weren't exhausted already because of anxiety? Like it's not something you learn immediately. It takes quite a few fighting events before you're like, I know that I'm good, I'm okay.
I never dropped it. I always was. It was shit in my panties before the fight.
Yes.
Always, the point is to control it.
Just
it
to
means,
control
means
it.
really to keep clear-minded. But the Torsten before and after the fight is a different person. Before the fight, like, whoa, leave me alone, and I need my time music on, relaxed, and this before and after, like flying bird. Happy it's over. But this is a part of it.
Yes.
It's a truck, right?
That was something you were almost somewhat addicted to, right? That process.
Yeah.
Interesting. You have a very interesting way of actually, because you'll get fighters that are very aggressive just as a person, just in their daily life. And there's like their whole body, their whole chemistry is designed just for conflict, for fighting, right? So they get into fighting for that reason. But from you, it seemed like a very, you were reading Bruce Lee books and learning right from, it's sort of in an academic way. You entered it into the ring. And kind of like picked it all, like, oh, okay, I should do this. Were other fighters, I don't want to say annoyed, but did they kind of not sort of relate to your process compared to the way they did it? Like, you would have like, obviously there would be aggressive fighters that you're not only fighting with, but also from your team as well.
I think aggressive fighters would be even more aggressive if they would not do the sport, because you release a lot of stress anyway. And it doesn't mean I was not aggressive fighting if I had a chance, right? If I knew, okay, now we have to speed up and we have to be hard and aggressive, then of course it has to be done, but it has to be controlled. That's the point. Can be aggressive, but it has to be controlled. The idea not to hurt anybody is just inside the brain. It just was not my goal. It was the goal to win whatever it takes. But if you have an aggressive person, I think, or if you have a high level of aggressivity, I think it's not an advantage.
Not an advantage
I don't think
competitive
so.
sports.
Maybe it is an advantage for the training, aggressive training. I'm angry, he can motivate himself, this can be. But I'm not sure it is an advantage in the fight. Khabib, the fighter, never aggressive, always calm, always checking, and always using his strong parts to win, waiting for the point to use it. This is a good example of a very clean, a clear strategy of fighting, right?
Khabib, he's like a new kind of sports star, right? Not just in combat, but also in sport at large, because he doesn't talk smack. He doesn't do the fast cars and he doesn't do the MTV, I'm on a boat,
it's a different type.
He's very shy, and I wouldn't say shy actually. I'd say he's just very reserved. He's very respectful. He's religious, right? But he's obviously a multi-millionaire. He made 10 million in that final fight. That was his purse. But just as he is, people respect that. So he has a different kind of fan even his fans are different, right? Very different for combat.
All I say about this doesn't mean I'm right. It's my point of view, right? It's my way of doing it, and maybe another person who is more aggressive and say, I need it. I needed to push myself. Yeah, okay, it's right, maybe for him. But I trained all the people, and also we make the training with your guys, and I told them, okay, guys, stay calm, focus on the technique, make it clean, focus on on the body, very clear-minded, understand what you are doing. It doesn't matter the level where you are fighting, but understand what you are doing to get an effect.
Understand what's happening. Don't just react. Yeah.
That's the most important for me if I talk to people and train people.
Yeah, I see. So in all those years of you fighting and competing, right, doing competitions, how often would you compete? And did you get injured? Like, were there any serious injuries that put you out of action for a long time?
Oh, I never was serious injured. Never like a cut leg or something like that. But I tell you one funny story. But first, how often I was fighting every weekend, if it's possible. I went to karate, taekwondo. I went to open championships, to city championships. I went to everything you can imagine because I wanted to know
every single weekend.
Everything where I can move a bit. I was going. If I was not in preparation for very important stuff, then of course I step back. But I was just checking. Okay, in Germany or maybe the countries around Germany, where can we fight, and went there. Open championships, okay, let's do it.
Wow.
So I was fighting hundreds of times. I don't know, really all kind of stuff, from semi-point fighting up to full contact.
Gee, okay.
But the most funny knockout I got.
Okay, you got knocked out or you gave a knockout?
Well, I had to stop. It was very funny. It was a guy from Taekwondo.
Okay.
It was an open, I think, Taekwondo championship. I don't know anything. I don't know what. But he was kicking to me, all the time, and I said, "Hey, funny, block, pam, block, pam." But it was this point fighting, karate style fighting.
Okay.
And I was blocking and pointed him out like crazy. And then one time I didn't get into the leg, and he kicked to my face. I saw just a shadow here. I turned to my coach at this moment, asked, "Can I fight?" And I saw the blood already coming.
Oh wow!
Here was the nose, everything destroyed.
So you broke he snapped your nose. Yes.
He knocked me completely out.
Wow.
So I asked my coach, "Hey, can I fight? Can I continue?" He looked at me, "We go to the hospital."
Wow.
So opened up eyes and then to the
So your
hospital.
nose just completely,
Completely fucked up. But the best story coming, and it's true, it was a Sunday. We went to the hospital and no doctor there. I was there, and then a young doctor, a girl, beautiful, really, I will never forget the brown, beautiful eyes.
Okay.
Came to me and said, "Oh, yeah, okay, let's check it, we can do it." We did the röntgen, it was all in shit, of course. And then, okay, no joke, she put me on a chair like this, then she put her knee here and here, boom, I was happy at this moment.
So she's on top of you?
On top of me, I was in this chair, and then she took her hands, looked with the beautiful eyes into my face, and
oh wow.
I was thinking I was to die. And the sound. Yeah, okay, the story is not over. Then I got a gips into my face. I was looking like, I don't know, any alien from I don't know where. I went home to my doctor, who repaired my nose several times. It was not the first time. And I took away the gips from my face, and I saw the shadow still here.
Whoa.
He looked at me and started laughing. "Who did it?" He laughed. "But who did it?" Young beautiful.
So she put it in wrong.
Nothing was done. She just put the gips and sent me home. And then what was the end? I needed to crack it again, and they drilled holes and put it back in shape.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
how many times have you broken your nose then?
I don't know. As I know, 6 times, but it was more times because sometimes you just
tap it and it goes out. Oh, so she was on top of you. She fixed it
like this, really, and she was so beautiful. This was the coolest.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
So she wedges it in place, then like puts a cast or something to hold it.
She tried to correct the nose. If you have a clear cut, then you can correct the nose, right? But if you have fragments, and it was really fucked, really in a hard way, and she tried to put these fragments together, and what they finally did, they drilled a hole here and here, they put some iron, and they put these fragments with a cable together, and now the nose is pretty fine. So it was really damaged.
That's something that I think I would retire with. I'd be like, okay, I'm not gonna. So with all that, how long does that take to heal? Like,
this was maybe 4 weeks. I don't remember, to be honest.
Not that long, right? And then you could go back and.
1 week later, I was training again. So, of course, not sparring, but training immediately, more or less.
Jesus. Okay. Wow. Do you remember another crazy injury like that, or is the nose always? But what is it? You're doing kickboxing, right? So pretty much the most dangerous parts, would be your nose, your chin. right?
Yeah.
Your maybe your eyes, like this area
Yeah.
here. If you get that hit,
Yeah.
your knees, right? Your
Yeah.
ankles. When you're kicking, right? You'd probably get a bit in.
I tell you one thing. I was training with boxers, and I was training kickboxing. I was driving around to different gyms. I believe, and I feel it like this, that kickboxing is not so hard in the frequency of getting the beats like boxing.
Okay.
And I can explain this very clear. If you are boxing, you are staying in a close distance and you get much more beats. On kickboxing, and you see it in MMA, you have mostly a very big distance, right? And the frequency of the beats not so hard. So I always felt that boxing, the classical boxing, from the amount of beats and challenge you get, is more hard than kickboxing.
Okay.
So if I take a kickboxing fight, let's say 3 minutes, how many beats I do there? I do a hard kick, and I can really kick hard, and it can be very painful, but it's much less than if you really stay and box very intensive and fight. So my feeling is, even if I compare boxing and kickboxing, boxing is pretty tough. It's really...
That was the tougher championship. A lot more volume of hits, right?
Yeah. That's a feeling I got.
Okay.
The more heartbeats, maybe the kicks. Yeah, it can be pretty shitty.
Okay. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What? Oh, yeah.
Again, my personal feeling. Maybe other people see it different, but it's the feeling I got.
Yeah. So with you now, obviously, you're completely retired from competitive combat sports.
Yeah.
What was your last fight? When did you hang up your gloves? Do you remember the reason and the motivation for that final fight? Did you know it was going to be your last fight?
Well, it was I told you my friend's suicide. He had a school, the small gym, and of course I had to take over. All the kids and the people wanted to be trained. So I took it over. So I stepped back from fighting into the trainer position. So the result for me personally was, I never was so keen to be a trainer. In the beginning, yes, but later not. But it was a moment I had to take care more the others than myself. So I love to do it myself, love to train myself. Till today, I like to train alone, because I can focus on myself, I can do it myself. This was the moment where it was clear I cannot be on a level, because I had to teach, I cannot train that way, and this was already clear, it will be less. And the last time was the German championship, full contact.
Full contact German championship, okay.
This was the last. I was not really in a very good shape. I was in the finals. I was in the final German championship. It was a tournament style, full contact kickboxing and the point fighting kickboxing was parallel, and I was in the final in the point fighting and in the full contact in the finals. And I will never forget, I was fighting full contact, and they called my name already on the fighting stage downstairs for the final in the point fighting. But this was the last really tournament where I said, okay, I fight, I do the last time. So I end up with the second place in full contact, because I needed to quit to fight downstairs. And I won the point fighting, the karate style.
Did you like the point fighting better? Did you like that better? Was that something you felt more confident? Because the full contact, that seems a bit hard. And that's your...
Do I like it more? It's different. I cannot say. I can fight pretty good both. Because always training with the boxers, it's different. It's different. The point fighting is not so hard, because the frequency of beats is by far not the same. But the quality of techniques, I think it's more precise. You need to be more clean.
Oh, I see.
In average. I cannot say I like this or that more.
Okay.
No, cannot say. No.
So you just felt tired. You were just like, that's it. I'm tired of constant competing. Let's time for a new chapter.
I said before, if you're the hunter, it's fun.
Yeah.
If you're on the level and the people look at you and all the people expect you to be in the national team and to blah, 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 they expect you this, then it's a pressure. And if you don't have enough time and need to be focused on the people who train with you, and I had some guys who were also on the nationals.
Okay.
I have to focus on them. You need to take a decision, right?
I see.
And I took a decision then, okay, it's enough, and also very clear. you need to understand your body, how far you can go, how high you can go, and what do you need to invest into it, right? And I was on a level where I really was on the border of what could my body do. And additionally, to train others would be not good for the fighting career. So it would be not possible to be better. It would be only possible to
be worse.
To be worse.
Yeah.
And then it's the point where you say, okay, guys, I take over the gym, I train you, and
that's it. Yeah. Wow, that's quite a story. You've done quite well in your fighting career, and there's obviously a lot more coming. A lot more coming. In our second parts, we're going to be seeing what happens beyond that, right? But I've always been curious about your career as a fighter.
Yeah.
And do you identify yourself as a fighter? Like as a fighter, the sort of that the definition as in someone who fights?
Yeah, I categorize the people roughly for myself if I talk to people. So for example, you are a fighter for me. What it means a fighter, it doesn't mean you are boxing, of course, but it doesn't mean you need to fight. A guy who is working in business very hard as a fighter, he's a fighter mentality. He's aggressive, he wants it. Or you have the intellectual people who are very clever, reading, not so emotional and very clear-minded. This is more the intellectual people, not the fighting people, right? So I categorize this. And yes, of course, I am a fighter type. I am the guy who hunt the deer in the middle age. I try to get the meat.
Yes. I like that primal instinct, right?
Yeah,
you have that primal instinct.
Exactly.
That's good. I hope we can do another session, TG Boxing.
Yeah.
Go over and do another session. That was really cool seeing you spar again. They're good, yeah?
I like the guys.
What did you think about, like, final thoughts for the audience? And I guess with looking at the fighters that you saw, what would be your advice to them coming into their very first fight?
Understand your weakness and work on it. And on the same point, the strengths. For example, if we take Martin, the very tall guy.
Very tall, yeah.
Long arms, make long, play with it, and if it's coming close, use the strong technique and train them pretty well. So means use the body and train what you have to do if somebody come closer to you. This is, I would like, for example, at Martin, I would like to look like this. Check him, his moves, the weak points to correct them, and then to work on the strong points and his body advantage.
Yes, he's very tall. He's
for
extremely
example,
tall.
Martin, because I was talking to him, and also the others, really clean technique, train the technique, train the speed, speedy, use your body. That's but the guys are cool.
Yeah, they're good, huh?
Yeah, really.
Should be an interesting event.
Yeah, will be.
Yeah, this was a great podcast. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Extreme, the fighter. Part 2 is done. Stay tuned. Part 3 and 4 are coming. And take care.
Thank you.